All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And Shalom to you, brothers that are laboring and pushing this word in truth and sincerity and with charity. I'm the brother Abraham from the camp here in GM at Chicago, coming back at you with another lesson. Lord willing to be edifying. And I want to go into this video from the Jimmy Dore show. It's called Massive Rainfall After Iran Destroys U.S. Weather Modification. Okay. And Esau, for a long time, has had the technology and power to modify weather. Okay. The fires and that happened in Hawaii recently, the floods that happened, I think, in like Texas, was it Texas? I don't know if it was Texas or not, but there was like a big flood that happened in this area. I don't know if it was Texas. Please forgive me. But there was like a camp of children that died in there. But I remember it was that land was wanted for building I don't remember if it was AI data centers or searching for, I forgot why they wanted the land, but the people in that town said no, right? And next thing you know, you have those floods that happen, all right? And same thing with the fires in California that happened recently, the fires that happened in Hawaii. It was all over that land, okay? And we know what the scriptures say about the wicked, right? They covet fields and take them by violence. So by whatever means they can, they just, if they want land, they take it, right? One way, shape, form, or the other. If they say no, right? If we can't pay them off, destroy it, right? And in this case, you got a war going on between U.S. and America, U.S. and Iran, Israel, U.S. and Iran, in which Iran destroyed a radar system from the U.S. And then next thing you know, you have rainfall coming down. All right, so let me play a little bit of this. Let you listen. All right.
Remember what Zygmunt Brzezinski said, who was the advisor to Jimmy Carter. He started the Trilateral Commission. He's the father of Mika Brzezinski on Morning Joe Ball. And
Big News, I think is how you pronounce it. It's Big News Brzezinski.
He said technology will make available to the leaders of major nations techniques for conducting secret warfare, of which only a bare minimum of the security forces need be appraised. Techniques of weather modification could be employed to produce prolonged periods of drought or storm. Well, son of a gun, we've got evidence that that's exactly what they've been doing in Iran. Iranian expert accuses U.S. Israel of weather manipulation to deepen the drought. An Iranian water resource specialist has accused the United States and Israel of manipulating regional weather patterns to intensify Iran's severe drought. According to the Middle Eastern Media Research Institute, they claimed in a July 30th interview on the Iranian YouTube channel that both nations had been deliberately diverting clouds away from Iran for over 4 decades.
Well, that's a violation of the treaty not to do that, Jimmy.
That is. There's a treaty, international treaty that was signed in the 70s that made it illegal, or they all agreed to not use weather modification.
Because we did it in Vietnam.
And you know what the scriptures say about them breaking the treaties, right? Matter of fact, let's just go to it real quick before we continue. Give me a Psalms 55. Yeah, 55. Psalms 55 and 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant or his pact. Right? They have treaties between nations and peoples all the time, but they never follow that. Look at what they did to Gad here. All right, this is not Esau's land. All right, but again, going back to that Micah 2:1, woe to them that covet fields and take them by violence. Right, because it is in the power of their hand. All right, it says, verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. Right? So they're that wolf in sheep's clothing. Right? So they portray themselves as this pure, righteous, and noble man, but inwardly they imagine how to throw thee in the pit, man, to overthrow you. All right. But let's go back to the video.
Because we did it in Vietnam. Iran's rain clouds aren't being stolen, but its drought is worsening. So the establishment media comes out, immediately tries to make you think that's wrong, that's not happening, because that's what the establishment media does.
Is Iran being forced to use their plague of bees weapon on Israel in retaliation?
Iran's embassy in Kabul posted a strange tweet. They say in it, after Iran destroyed the secret center for cloud seeding and weather manipulation in the United Arab Emirates, everything changed overnight. And with the end of the secret center, the region's weather map flipped completely. So it's raining so much. Their reservoirs were down to 1%. They were thinking they would have to move people out of Tehran, a city of 9 or 10 million people. They were going to move everybody because they had no water. But now we opened the gates of Iraq's largest dam due to 100% capacity. The dam hasn't reached 100% capacity in years. Underground water sources have started to overflow, and this is what it looks like. That's what it looks like now in Iran. Water everywhere. Water coming up from under the ground. And here, Iran destroyed American. So when Iran hit, they say they destroyed their weather modification plants, right? When Iran was hitting all the Gulf states, because we had bases there. And then they also took out their weather modification. This is what the reporting is, right? So nobody can confirm this for sure, but this is certainly what it looks like, and especially after Iran Kabul tweeted that out. Here's what Tucker Carlson and our good friend Dane Whittington had to say about it.
And Tucker, they're being used as a form of warfare. And we know that. We have countries like Iran, constantly demonized, of course, as you well know. Immediately after 9/11, we have the list of countries to be targeted given to General Wesley Clark, a list that clearly existed before 9/11 even occurred. Subsequently, every one of those countries, every one of them, endured a once in 1,000 year drought. Statistically, mathematically, that's impossible without climate intervention operations. And we have the leader of Iran on the floor of the UN, on film, on the record, stating NATO was cutting off their precipitation. We have Iranian top scientists recently stating NATO's been doing this for 40 years. Destabilize the food supply by destabilizing the rain, and you destabilize the population.
Here's more from Dane.
I'm saying that we know the technology exists to steer storms of that size. So why would we think they're not using these type of operations? We have historical precedent. Project Popeye in Vietnam was so successful at controlling precipitation. By 1976, they passed the INMOD treaties forbidding weather manipulation for wartime purposes, but not over a country's own population. The Chinese government has long since openly stated they were engineering snowstorms with endothermic reacting elements. These are patented elements that can literally transition a rain event into snow. They were so successful in China, they caused billions of dollars of damage to Beijing, at which time they began to be less open about this. Everybody covered it. CNN, Popular Science, The Guardian. But if you bring that up here, suddenly you're a tinfoil hat wearing nutcase.
We'll be right back with more of this story.
All right. So you see what happens when the wicked is in rulership. All right. Just destroy, take, and it doesn't end. All right. Let me bring this out here in Isaiah 26:10. It says, "Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord." So, how was favor shown to the wicked? He was given the earth, right? Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. What did he do with it? Destroy it. Okay, that's what he did with it. All right, and he uses the scriptures. He turned the scriptures, the word of the Most High, into a business. Okay, for him to make money, and he did make money. He got rich off of it. Okay. All right. So, Isaac's blessing to Esau was the dew of heaven and the sword. Okay. Let's go to Genesis 27. Okay, where he gives the blessing. Okay, Genesis 27. And 39, it says, "And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck." Okay, so his blessing, his dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven. All right, which means riches, abundance, right? "And by the sword shalt thou live." So he's going to live by the sword. That's his power. That's his weapon. All right, weather modification is a form of a weapon, right? Earthquakes, tsunamis, tornadoes, right? All these weather type weapons. That's what it is, right? So whenever they want to take over something, they don't like someone, all right, let's fuck them up with this, pretty much. All right. And it said that they had like a drought problem for 40 years. All of a sudden they destroyed their radar systems in the area, and all of a sudden you got water coming out like crazy. Right? But this is why with all the power, money, resources, technology that Esau has, imagine the good he could do to the world, but he wasn't built that way. Okay? The scriptures say, if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. Right? He didn't want to do it. He did it because he had to do it. Okay? But yeah, this is why the scriptures say in Sirach 10 that in due time he will set over one that is profitable, right? Because the ones that inhabit this earth, that rule over it, that have dominion of the earth, have destroyed it and destroyed the people, and the people are mourning. They're not rejoicing. All right, and that's how we know who is in rulership, the righteous or the wicked. All right, but we're almost out of here regardless. So, but until that change in dominion happens, the wickedness will continue to get worse. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let there, Lord willing, this video was edifying as always. All honor, glory, and praises goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Until next time, Shalom.